And we'll get to the next video here soon. Thank you. Right. We are here on a new server. This server is called LandOfBad. It's a PvE slash PvP server. I was contemplating on making a mini series. That's why you guys are kind of seeing the base location. I'm not gonna say done, but as far as I'm gonna take it, I'm not gonna explain why. I'm not gonna go too far into building this. I mean, this already. If you guys have never done rag base building, this takes time, especially with the size of the material and not stacking. So this was kind of like a vanilla style building carrying. What did help though is they do have pretty good sized backpacks, plenty of gun slots. So let's get into the pros and cons of the server. As you can tell, on my YouTube channel, I like to kind of dabble in a little bit of everything. So I seen this on Facebook. They're advertising. Advertisement, sold me a little bit. I thought it was gonna be really customized, and I do believe they're in the works. So let me, before it sounds worse than what I'm trying to explain it as. For POIs, you know, militaries are all vanilla. Nothing wrong with that. Just if you're a veteran player and you're looking for something different, this is not going to be your cup of tea. But if you're a PVE, veteran, this also might not be really your thing. They do have AI zones. I do believe Tizzy's starting to become an AI zone. They're going to make Devil Castle AI zone. AI kind of travel along this area near my base down to Zelenogorsk. This little town, which just doesn't get much action at all in any server you play on, kind of made this like a little AI compound area. You can go here and you can fight AI. So let me get with my things about that. So this is the only PvP zone during the week. So if you're looking for PvP, this is where you're gonna go. But there is no reason to go here if you're looking for loot. This is strictly if you're just trying to PvP. Whatever you find here, you can find here. You can find all the way down to this tiny military here. This is where I got a 50 cal. I went all the way to Tizzy on one of my runs. Not 150 cal here. Not saying they don't spawn here because I found a 408. I found a high tier jug there. But also I found a high tier jug. I want to say, might have been this little camping military area. Black markets here, mostly for bit mining and selling and buying 50 cal and 408 and high tier guns. I do believe it's only particular style guns. It might be Snafu. Plus, I think it's Teddy's guns he has on here. Raven. He has a lot of gun mods. The problem with a lot of gun mods is most stuff is never implemented in the trader, so you got a lot of people complaining that guns are not selling, can't find where they go. Not really laid out in Discord too much. Their Discord needs a lot of revamping to kind of catch up to the server because it doesn't really kind of have the rules laid out, which limitations are, what's their expectations of the people that come and play on their server. I would tell them to revamp that and clarify it, make it more traditional. This hunting area, trader, really nice. I like it. You can sell guns plus random pelts, head mounts. The only problem with that is certain guns that sell here do not sell at trader. So if you live all the way over here by Novo, you have a long way to go sell an SKS, a Mosin, a Tundra, even some other custom guns that are considered hunting rifles or low class rifles. It's a little bit of a hike for anybody that's got to travel. That's kind of why I placed my base here. I'm close to a traditional trader, close to comic, which is also like a collectible trader. close to hunting. Because at the time, hunting was worth it. Because even though everything was the same price at the time, you got a lot of money. And I'm pretty sure it was a typo issue, but now everything's the same price, selling, collecting. I think they should change that and add more diversity to what you're buying and selling here. Drugs. I've never been to drugs, but I'm sure it's set up just like your other drug traders, buying, selling. Black market was black market, little small trader. I have never been to the boating and fishing. Sure, you can probably make some decent money, hopefully fishing. But there's really no reason to buy a boat on this server. There's no oil rigs. The islands are not customized, from what I found. Because there's no custom POIs. I think I overseen people talking that Northwest is supposed to be high tier and that's the place to loot. Only reason why I would go there is there's like plane crashes and a medical spot inside the hangar. You can get card collections there. So they have 3 different types of card collectors: Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, I do believe Magic. So all those little medical, evac crates drop tons of cards. A lot of sellables. The towns have plenty of sellables too. So if you just want to go town to town and loot, there's plenty to do. Loot wise, to collect. But military wise, there's really no reason to go to Tizzy. Unfortunately, there's no reason to go to Toxic. Whatever you find, I went here down to Pavlovo. I didn't go to Rifty. Only reason I didn't go to Rifty because Pavlovo was kind of a letdown. Nothing crazy was there. I think I found a 408 and a high tier vest, which I found a very similar loot Tizzy, and I found a better 50 cal guns at, I think this is Austria military. I want to say Novi Lug military. Both of them have 50 cals. So the loot needs a little bit of tweaking, possibly, depending on how they want their server laid out. I do believe it's really brand new. So they have some stuff to kind of kink out, I'm sure. They do have a no raid zone, so on the weekends the server turns into a raid. So it looks like you can kind of build over here and be off the grid. No one's allowed to touch you. They do have Rag Z cabins, which are pretty basic setup. Affordable, 200 grand. Takes you a couple loot runs to get the gun, or sell guns, clothes. Clothing sells more than guns do. Pouches sell more. So collecting guns is really not, the best way to make money on this server. Probably more sellables and pouches and clothing, because guns take up a ton of space, clothes don't, and pouches sell for like 3 times the value of guns. So a little weird, but it's their niche. Maybe that's how they want it set up. Because space on this server is limited. You gotta kind of loot around and get the stuff you need. You're not gonna find monster backpacks right away. You gotta go to heli crashes and get lucky that you find one on the ground. So yeah, not a great deal to go over other than that. Like I said, a couple AI zones, and they're adding some more AI zones. So if you're new to the game and you want to kind of try out PVE and use collectibles and get the hang of the game, the AI will give you some trouble. They do have AC-130s that fly over, but I kind of seen in the Discord that they either removed it or made it where it stops shooting at you, which kind of could be a pain in the ass when you're in one of these open fields and you have nowhere to go. But I found it pretty useful on the weekends, where if you're in the general area and the AC flew over, shooting at people in cities, towns, and military compounds, you already knew where people were, and you kind of go force your hand in PvP, which I thought that was pretty cool. But if I was a person in the military, I'm probably not going to find that very appreciative. But somebody who was looking for PvP, they're probably going to like that. We'll just kind of jump into what I had going on. Here's the base. I've never used base building rag before, so this is my first time. Not my favorite base building mod. Do I think it's vanilla-ish? Absolutely. I think it looks nice. I like the windows, how they pop open. The camo net against the wood color blends in quite nice. I I like the little lanterns you can turn on and give yourself some light. I think that's really nice. I like this base building storage because it looks vanilla. Looks like something you would make if you're out there in apocalypse. Like it. Obviously, I like the rag base building um, mod with the rag base building. Gives you that PvE role player vibe. As you can tell, logs huge. So each wall takes 4 of these logs. So you can only carry like 6 logs on you with a big backpack. What I'm telling you, this base took me days to build because I was at work full-time job. So it's not what I do all day long. This took me days to build this base, maybe even a week, just to get this far. A lot of that was just more tedious stuff too. Like it's really hard to get your inventory to prop sometimes, or if you're putting stuff down in base building rag, stuff doesn't want to show you the inventory items. Some days it will, some days it won't. Could be from the new game updates. Maybe it needs some more, love and tweaking from the developers, but it's not going great. I like the way it looks. So you can buy planks at Trader. So I bought these rag base building books. You need to be able to craft your kits. You can also use planks and nails and just craft it manually too. But this book makes it faster. Nails are super affordable. So getting nails to build your base, not a problem. Getting the tools you need to build your base, not a problem. You can find them in the cities. You won't find nails and code locks that often, so you probably better off just buying those. Here's my downfall to the server for the most part. So they do a kind of like a purge style where the weekends everything's PvP from north to south, east to west. I like servers that do that. I think that's really nice. But that turns into raiding. So raiding, I haven't found any C4 elements, so there's nothing along that line. I could be wrong. I just haven't came across it. But these hacksaws, sledges, are raiding equipment. Here's the problem. I do believe hacksaws are $20. So you could be a freshie spawning in with 10 grand in your bank account, and you ain't got to do nothing but just come to Trader, buy the hacksaw sledges, find a nice base, crack them down. Now, I'm assuming it takes some time. They gotta go around the dial and beat on them. So it takes time, but the server's not super popular right now. It's developing, becoming new. So people can just kind of come in here and just kind of wreak havoc on your base. So if you're offline, you're definitely gonna have some problems. So if I was them, I'd get rid of that. I did bring it up to them. They have a lot of stuff going on. So hopefully they fix that. If not, you're not gonna keep a lot of people on your server with that. I would literally make those, change the colors of them, put them in AI zones, and give AI zones more of a purpose. Right now, there's no need to go to a PvP zone. There's no reason to go see AI unless you want to go shoot and get some aiming on. That's awesome. But there's no key cards, no crates, no bunkers. There's really nothing to keep you busy rather than just collecting collectibles. So if that's your thing, this is gonna be a great server for you, and you can hunt and fish, all that. Like I said, here's all your card collections. Like I said, you gotta kind of dabble around and kind of get the prompt. There goes tons of collectibles like Yu-Gi-Oh. We got Pokemon, so most people like collecting Pokemon. Magic the Gathering. I'm not quite sure how many cards there are. Okay, this was 295 cards. Tons of cards to collect. This one doesn't really tell you the quantity. Oh, up here. 102 of these ones. And then Yu-Gi-Oh! There's 122 of the first edition. I'm not sure there's more than one. And then they have other stuff. What do they got here? Like these little plushy dolls and these HGC pops. And then you have the Funkos, retro games you can collect, smartphones. there's items to grab and look and search for, and they have a lot of like storage cases for them. Like I said, rag base building. I think it looks nice. Real pain in the butt to do if you're trying to defend your base or build your base up on a weekend, before a raid weekend. This was only a temporary hatch. I was going to blow out the back wall and keep going and make it like a full-time house. But I got kind of bored. I'm a veteran player, so it takes a little bit more to kind of keep me going and staying active. I want to at least give a review. They're trying to get people in here. I want to make a video, maybe encourage some other people to come join it, because this might be their thing. Maybe this is what they like to do. I try to make me a little kitchen, little living room. I was gonna do a little RP. Like I said, this wall's gonna come down. I was gonna make this a hallway into the living room and kitchen. Gotta make a little role player like. So I was in the midst of just kind of designing and building the house, but I kind of got bored with it. It takes a long time to build rag. Just what would help would be inventory stacking of planks and logs if they're going to keep this a raid server. It's not really the greatest mod for base defense, because there's not a lot of customization you can do to make custom like peaks and advantage points. But I do like some of these other mods. Like, I've never seen this mod. These things come in like a little briefcase. So they got different lockers. So these are pretty cool. They have plenty enough storage. So I like the little plank. I can't even put this down for some reason. Very not. Yeah, like I said, some of this stuff's pretty buggy. Gives me the prompt to put it up, but I just can't get it up. I don't. But this is what it looked like. So stuff like this. These are nice. I like them. This one has a mannequin in it. If I can get the prompt. Sometimes you gotta walk into a weird spot. I don't think it's the server itself. I think it's just the mod. These mods are kind of clashing a bit. The weapons maintenance table is pretty cool. You can put all your electrical repair kits, epoxies, backpacks, and what you can just to have this a repair station. Yeah, it'd be really nice to get this to prompt a little bit. There it goes. Like I said, gives you a full loadout. You can put a wooden crate in here, protect the case. But that's pretty cool. I'm assuming you'll kind of like see that sit on the shelf, like how it does here with the guns. Because this is part of the same wood mod that's on the bottom floor. I like it. I've seen this on Bear Mountain. I like the vanilla style, and you can craft these yourself out of planks and logs, and you get pretty unique. So I like that mod. Was gonna make me a little growing room out here. I was in the middle of finishing it, and then I just got a little burnt out, man. Just I got bored a little too quick. Granted, this base, I mean, I'm telling you, it probably took me 2 weeks on and off, a couple hours here and there a night, just to get it done. Just chopping the logs down and coming back and forth, and then trying to, run around and make money, and then coming back and not getting tons of, planks transferred from the trader back. I did go to Moschino military area down there where they had plank piles, cut them up. But overall, not a bad server. I think really, beginner friendly. They did do some weird stuff where I had a admin had people inside the car. They TP'd on my base while I was building it. If this was a regular PvE server, I definitely would not care. But since this was raiding and I knew raiding equipment was really easy to get, did not like them dropping on them. And I know it wasn't intentional whatsoever, but that's just something I would like for them to be a little more, be a little bit aware of situational stuff. Where if you had a brand new group and you did that to them, they probably wouldn't come back. So they gotta be a little more careful, I would say, in that scenario. But the two admin I did meet, really nice guys. Maybe one of them was even the owner, but they were really nice. They're fun. I said, I don't think it was intentional. It wasn't anything along that line. I just think they had to be a little more careful. But Rag was a unique experience for a PvE. I liked it. For rating, I would not like this mod. Storages, I think all the storage is really nice, but I would simplify it. Maybe keep it down to 2, 3 max. Which I think for the most part they have done that. But doesn't seem like a lot of these mods are mashing well with the rag base building because it's really hard to get inventory. Like if I'm standing from the locker. Well, I actually showed this time. The other day I could not get that thing for the life of me to pop up. So you got this little Funko case. Put all your collectibles in. And then I don't know if I even showed you display tables. Here's one you can put your chibis. This right here is for your devices. So you can put like store your PlayStation, GameCubes, Game Boys all go in these little cubbies. And they have other ones. Like I said, unique stuff. Overall, if you're new to the game, really good server I think for you to start on. You'll have AIs, you'll have raid weekends. You'll have different mods you probably have never seen. Like I said, I probably have tons of hours on this game. I don't believe I've ever seen this space storage mod. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, if you guys are interested on the server, this is LandOfBad. They are still developing. I think if you're a new player, like once again, just come check it out. Come give it a whirl. And I want to thank you guys for coming and take a look at the channel. I'm going to be doing some more base, or not base, but more server reviews. Just seeing what's out there. I'd give this one a 5 out of 10 just because it's new. It's growing. They have to do a lot more work on trader inventory. Giving players more to do. I highly recommend them to update. Making going to Tizzy worthwhile. Going to AI zones worthwhile. Toxic zones need to be worthwhile. Just to draw your players in there. Make hunting more unique. Right now, most of it's all the same price. They'll sell and buy animal pelts and stuff like that. I'm assuming fish are probably pretty similar like this. I don't think it has a fishing mod. So I don't know how much fishing there is. But maybe even make some custom POIs or grow on to the custom militaries they have, or the current militaries they have, just to give new players, not new players, veteran players, more to do. But come check out LandOfBad. Like I said, not a bad server. Very beginner friendly, I would think. And every player I've met on here has been pretty nice. Owner's nice. Admin team's really nice. So if you want a pretty relaxed server and kind of get your experience in the PC world, or even just DayZ itself, this is a pretty decent server. But thank you guys for coming to check out my server, or my coming to check out my channel. And we'll get to the next video here soon. Thank you.